I want to know. Okay, so apparently we're live.
We're
Whatever
gonna
that
look
means.
back on this and be like, "Do you remember when we went live and we were live, but we didn't know for where?"
Well, really though, I mean, I don't know where we're live.
I'm assuming.
Is it
Well,
that well
you're.
connected to YouTube?
Yeah, you want me to? I can jump over and look at. That'd be amazing, right?
Yeah, I mean that's like instant. That'd be very impressive.
Yeah, here we go. We're live right now. What a trip!
Like you can see it
Yeah, I can see you.
on YouTube.
Yeah,
Would you just YouTube
about five
CrossFit
second
Magny?
delay. Yeah,
Oh, sick. Okay.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna
Um,
go away from that because it's stressing me out.
yeah, it's pretty stressful. All right.
Plugin
Well,
delay.
what do you want to talk about today? I've got a post that would be interesting to talk about.
Yeah,
I'm gonna find it.
and just totally
Oh,
dropping it on
actually,
me. I can't wait.
I should totally. We should probably do this on the stream so that other people could see it. This is the hard part: is we're gonna have to figure out how to multitask like this.
Till we get a producer.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go. I believe it was here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think I found it. So then I need to go back to the stream, share my screen. All right. So you can see this. Is that right?
Yep.
All right. Well, let's change the view to this. Seems like a better view. Oh, but now I need to like, what? Interesting.
And it
Yeah.
opened up my background there too. And yours too. I can see way more of where you're at. I can see your heated blanket and everything.
Sick. It's cold in my house with them working on the new addition.
You have walls up at least, though?
Yeah, I'm just not
Good.
heavily insulated. Okay, so you can see this, but it's all like with this format, it's all zoomed out, it looks like, huh?
Yeah, I upped my resolution too, so my camera looks a little bit better now.
Can you, man, I don't know how to fix that, but if you're looking at the stream, you could see how it's like centered between this thing. Like, I wonder how to change that.
Yeah, so I've got it where it's up on the left, and then we're stacked on top of each other. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but it's like, it's zoomed in funky with the one on the left.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Um,
That's what I was hoping to fix, is whatever is going on there.
yeah, and I
Not
don't even
sure
know that
how
I
to go
can
about
change it. Oh, yeah, did that change it too?
it. Not the way we wanted it to go.
Hey, that looks better.
Yeah, you can see it all here. I mean, I guess we just have to remember that if we want to see the entire thing, that's what you have to do. So this is Active Life, the company we used to work with as a gym, and they're pretty good about posting some things to get conversations started, I guess you could say, where they take a probably somewhat controversial stance. So this one's pretty bold, I think, especially because they go as far as to have a percentage
Mm-hmm.
with probably zero material to
Yeah,
actually
no science
support a
behind
claim.
it. Yeah.
But then again, it's not necessarily a scientific statement. So it's 99% of people don't go to the gym to get jacked, craft a bikini body, or become a competitive athlete.
I feel like there should
And
be an
so,
answer there.
well, I'll scroll to the next one in a minute. But so,
Okay.
what do you think initially when you read that?
Um, I
Do
mean, I
you
already knew this,
agree,
but I'm
or
a one percenter.
because you do go to the gym for one of those reasons?
No, actually not.
Oh, no, because
I
you
go
don't.
to
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It was a joke about the 1% thing, but
Yeah.
I would say that it's probably, at least my personal opinion would be, to stay mobile and healthy and live longer for my kids would probably be my number one reason to go.
Okay. I
I
don't
think that, is
disagree
there
with
an
that.
answer? Yeah.
No, I don't disagree with that. They go to the gym because they want physical freedom. I could agree with that too, I think.
Yeah.
Say yes to everything meaningful. Yeah, that all makes sense. They carry sleeping 6-year-old from the couch to up a flight of stairs. Yeah, definitely agree with
Every
that.
day. Every day I do that.
Yep. Ability to pick up a basketball game on a whim. I really agree with that, and I feel like people really aren't even close to that,
Yeah.
actually.
Flag football.
Um, yeah, flag football, exactly. Illusion that the gym is a place for stroking your ego
I
and
love their
hiding
choice
from your
of words.
problems.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I could dig it. I could dig it.
I feel
Though,
like this phrasing is accurate. I would agree with most of that.
yeah, the one really hit home about picking up the 6-year-old, because Simon's 6, and I got to transfer him from where he goes to sleep to his bed every night, and I pick him up, and his feet are starting to drag because he's so long now. Just when I move him
Yeah.
after he's asleep, and yeah, I'll think about that
Um,
now.
I'm trying to think. They posted something. Maybe it was on their other account. Let me find their other account. They posted something that was, I thought, a little more controversial than that. I feel like that stuff was easy to agree with. The way they wrote it was good. How do I get rid of this search thing? Okay, exit. You've done your job.
I don't see a live thing anymore. It says that we're live still, right? Oh wait, yeah, it's still
Okay,
there.
this is freaking
Yeah,
me out right here.
we're still good.
There we go. No, god damn it. I don't want to see me. There we go.
Why? Everybody's gonna see you at the thing, the Harley Davidson thing. That's gonna be awesome. Why don't you talk a little bit about
Yeah.
that, Mitch?
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. I'm trying to find this. He basically said, man, did he take it down?
Oh, was it controversial?
Yes. He was saying, um, stop doing, what did he say? Stop posting before and afters or something like that.
Just blanket statement, or was there?
Yeah. There was some context to it. Basically, it was saying, it was kind of piggybacking off of that same message as before, where, the real reason isn't for those things. So why would you post before and afters in the first place?
Yeah.
Um, and I can see the sentiment there. Like, why would you do that? Um, but here's where I have to politely disagree.
Hmm.
Is if you're posting before and after pictures, as a business, I think you're trying to get some proof that what you're doing does improve your body composition to the extent that you would be more physically fit and able. Yes, it doesn't exactly mean that you're going to be able to pick up your 6-year-old and carry them up the flight of stairs, but I think you know, if you're only have that objective viewpoint, that's kind of how you're going to illustrate that, right? It's like, here's this before and after of somebody who, look at this picture before, they probably can't make it up a flight of stairs. This in this after picture, do you
Sure.
think that person could, right? If you were
Would be
just
able
looking at
to.
it from that. Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
because I think the whole I mean, obviously things have gone probably too far as like body image things in
Hmm.
our culture. But I think if you were to um, really look into why we want those body types in the first place, really where the root of that comes from, it all kind of comes from the primal urge to reproduce. And with that, you should look physically able. Um, and
Physically able to reproduce or be attractive enough to reproduce.
both, right?
Hmm.
Like you should
Yeah.
be. So when I think of like that from a primal side, let's say back in the tribal era, you would want to attract a mate with your physical abilities, physical look potentially via
Hmm.
if you looked relatively lean, it would mean that you didn't take more than your share of food, which means you're probably more community, like focused on bringing the community up as a whole. And it also probably meant that you were very active as far as you were also contributing to getting that food there in the first place, right?
Ah.
So that lean appearance is what we're going for, like from a tribal side, because of those reasons. And in my, like, if I'm just thinking of it logically, like where this maybe roots from. Right now, we've obviously gone too far with like there also has to be facial symmetry and
Hmm.
this pec should look as big as this pec and all that stuff. That's where we've probably gone too far. But for the most part, I think that ultimately that's what we all want is this body that looks like what we think it should for the abilities that we think we should have too. So I'm not
Yes.
disagreeing with the whole message of what they were saying.
The before and after. Uh,
Yeah.
then I think that a lot of people do try and keep up with like unrealistic photo editing as well. I don't know that that might be something that people are also thinking about. Might be a little bit off the wall, but
So
but
you're
yeah,
saying
that's
like before and afters are often using Photoshop to,
yeah. I mean,
okay,
I've
I wouldn't be
I've
surprised.
probably seen some of that. I don't know, just
Yeah,
to
I'm sure.
show, just to flex up on it without putting in the work.
Yeah. I've on the Savan podcast, he was showing before and after breast reduction surgery. Um it was and he was acting like he's like, I don't get it. These are naturally beautiful, blah blah. I mean, he was looking at these tits that were basically hanging down to the person's waist. Um and then in the next frame it's like they're all perky and it's like clearly a different person.
Reduction. I gotta start watching that. I should probably watch
um
that for you.
Yeah, I mean, it would probably be helpful, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, you mentioned the Harley Davidson thing, so I guess
Yeah. Should I say
with
something
ours,
about it?
our incredibly large audience, we could talk about my new gig. So I'm, professional
Quitting the
model now.
gym.
So
Yeah.
um no, it's they reached out, they DM'd me on Instagram. And I'll
Do you
maybe
get
I
a lot of
can,
people reaching out to you on there? I mean, you're pretty active.
yeah, we get, I mean, gosh, it's hard to say.
Who runs your social media account?
Well, Catherine really runs it. Oh, I can't do it from here.
She filter it. Does
Um,
she tell you about all the people that are like, "Ooh, he's hot"?
she'll send me like a screenshot every now and then of like some kind of
So that happens.
nastier comments. Yeah. Um, but I really don't pay myself. I don't pay much attention to um those things because I don't have the time.
Yeah.
And it's a good way to get in internet fights with people who have no fucking clue who you are.
Yeah.
Um, so
Oh, so
I
it's
don't
people
really.
being like trolls. It's not people that are reaching
Yeah.
out and telling you how attractive you are. Then is what you're
Well,
saying.
there's everything, right? You get
Oh,
people who just
across the board.
compliment just generally speaking, and those are always nice. But when any of this social stuff where you don't actually know the person, you tend to dwell on like the one negative thing that came through.
Yeah.
So if I gave like a strength balance test, like, hey, if you can press this much weight with your right, you should be able to pull this much weight with your right. Um, People love to argue with that, and
Yeah.
it's like I get it. It's not like that's not the thing per se, but it's a thing that can help guide like a decision of what we should focus our primary energy on, right?
Hmm.
It's not to say like these have to be perfect, otherwise you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Um, but then people take it that way. So,
So it's
you know,
probably good that you've got that buffer there anyway, that she can just like ignore all the stuff.
yeah, she definitely has a more uh like objective viewpoint. Um, Whereas it's harder for me to do that, I think. So yeah, anyway, there's going to be nasty comments, there's going to be funny comments, and there's all the stuff in between. But so Harley Davidson, High Desert Harley in Meridian DM'd. I'll just read it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I mean, they started out by saying this is legit offer, not a scam, which I think
You
is
have to start
important
out like
because
that. Right.
you do on Instagram because there's a lot of
Yeah.
bullshit out there.
Yeah.
I'm looking for models for an upcoming ladies' night event on Thursday. Blah blah blah. I'm wondering if you'd be interested in being one of the male models for the night. Models would arrive at such and such time, get fitted for clothing, take turns going out and modeling the Harley clothes, taking off jackets, vests, going out shirtless, teasing the crowd,
Yes.
etc.
Yeah. I cannot wait to be at ladies' night. Cannot wait. A big bitch
uh,
cutout of your head.
the show will be about 15 to 20 minutes long total. Then after we will have photo station where the ladies can get a free picture with the models.
Nice. Wait, just the ladies?
Um, it's a ladies' night. I don't know what to tell you.
A lot of controversy going on with this now.
Anyway, they go on to say like when to expect it to be over and how much they're going to pay, and then let me know if you're interested. So they
And
are paying, but it's not like crazy. I'm not actually doing it for the money. I'm doing it because of two reasons. First reason I'm doing it is because I know it's going to make me really uncomfortable, and I think that's important as a
yeah,
person to embrace that every now and then.
yeah,
The second reason is because it's really just networking for the gym, right? Like it's a local place. That means the people there are local, and I don't necessarily want people coming to the gym for the wrong reasons, and some of this would probably be that, but at least it gets the name out there potentially,
yeah.
right? So we'll see.
I have a model story. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
So I was getting my hair cut by this guy, and he used to. I guess he was. I don't know. You have to be sponsored. I guess if you're like a hairstylist. I guess you don't have to be, but he happened to be for American Crew. I don't know if you know like the hair products or whatever.
Hmm.
And so they were doing like this thing, and he's like, "Hey man, you wanna come be a hair model?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so all these other people got like these really cool haircuts, and I got what was called the wind tunnel. And he took the razor and shaved to where it looked like I was standing in a tunnel, pointing my head like that, and so it like there was no hair right here whatsoever,
What?
completely shaved bald, and it was going to be like the new style. It didn't take off, and I was very embarrassed going for it because it was just the worst haircut I've ever had in my life. But I sat there in the front of the room and let people dissect the haircut uh, for American Crew. So yours should go better than that, I would imagine.
God, I hope so.
I told Catherine about it the other day when she told me about your Harley Davidson modeling thing. I was
Uh,
like fingers crossed that they don't want to mess with his hair. Your hair,
we thought
can't see it
we
here,
thought
but
that was pretty funny.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Oh, what
actually,
about you getting
yeah, the whole
approached?
scenario is just kind of funny because it's one she I like to act like I have a big head about stuff like that because it's fun. Um,
Yeah.
and so she hates it when just gets fed a little bit,
Hmm.
right? Like the monster's eating now.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it's pretty fun. And then it's always also just kind of fun to be like, because like when we shoot the social media content, I'll usually walk into the room and be like, the talent has arrived, and just talk like that.
Yeah.
So it feels like this feeds that monster even more.
Yeah.
So that should be pretty fun.
I did appreciate the making yourself uncomfortable thing because that's something that I try and teach my kids too. It's like, okay, one, what did you fail at, and did you make yourself uncomfortable at all today? Because if you just skate through life just completely comfortable, that's actually why when I was talking about this podcast thing, I was like, man, it's gonna make me uncomfortable. Like you
Yeah.
can see my eyes keep going away from looking at me
Hmm.
on this screen, and then
Yeah, we're gonna
I think,
realize so much about ourselves on this thing,
yeah,
probably. But yeah, I do. I mean, it's. Do you find it? See, how old Simon? He's like.
he is just turned 6.
So, do you think that message ever gets across to him?
I think so. I think it has to be repetition too. If we
Okay.
told him once, then I think that it would be it'd fly away. But like we're sitting at dinner, I'm like, yeah, man, what'd you fail at? Or like we start him in a new sport, like basketball. He didn't know how to do. Never played basketball, honestly.
Yeah.
We dropped him. We didn't drop him off, but we went to basketball practice. Like I don't want to go to basketball practice. Like, well, you didn't want to go to soccer either when you first went to your soccer practice, but you're good at that
Mhm.
now and you enjoy doing it, and it's going to make you uncomfortable. And going to school is going to make you uncomfortable the first couple times. So I think that as long as we continue to just like reiterate that, do things that make you uncomfortable, then I think that hopefully going forward as he gets older and more responsible, he can push himself a little bit more, not be a you know just take the
A
easy road.
pansy.
A pansy, yeah, I didn't want to say
Yeah.
it, but yeah.
No, I think so ever since we started coaching the kids in CrossFit, um, my particularly my kids, I notice it. Maybe I notice it more with my kids, but it seems like the other kids are fine with doing hard things.
Mhm.
They keep their mouth shut for the most part, but it's like uh, my kids don't seem to really take that like perspective on, and it's frustrating for me
Mhm.
because it's like, how are you gonna get good at anything? And
Yeah.
like, my oldest talks about wanting to play basketball like professionally, and it's like, dude, I don't know if you practice anywhere near the amount that it would take. And I don't know
Yeah.
if you don't do the drills that make you uncomfortable. You do the drills that like
Very easy.
look cool or
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like so he's trying to do like a through the legs layup and it's like, can you do it with your left hand yet?
Yeah.
Like and he can't. And
Yeah.
yet he's still doing this through the legs thing and I keep going, that's not gonna happen. Like that's the easy way out, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what about you? Are you doing things other than this that are outside of the comfort zone? Because I think that we're our kids' biggest role model. Like it's hard for me to think of things that like make me uncomfortable. Oh, playing the guitar. I was sitting there and I was like, this is an excellent opportunity for me to teach Simon something because oh man, it sounded terrible. I played maybe a total of 2 hours of guitar in like my entire life, but I want to learn how to play the guitar. So I was like fumbling with the strings, like trying my hardest. But Simon was sitting there and he's like, "Oh yeah, you finished," because it was like a little gamification thing. And I'm like, "Oh man, I'm really bad at this. I should probably quit." He's like, "Don't quit, Dad." And then I started to
Mhm.
like feed it a little bit more, see how it would go. Be like, "Well, I'm just not very good at it. It's making me uncomfortable. Maybe I should quit." And he kept coming back. He's like, "No, man, don't quit." And I was like, "Well, why shouldn't I quit?" I don't remember what he said, but I was like, "Oh man, at least it's like he was like, yeah, man, if it's tough, just give it up."
And then you
But I
just
think
hit
that
like a master, like, yeah. You're right. I guess I shouldn't.
shredding it. You're right, kid.
It's like
Oh man,
hustling your own
yeah. I
kid.
think it's important for us to like do things that we're just not good at, and show our kids like, hey man, like you got to persevere through this toughness. We could have turned into like a kids thing here, but that's all right, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it will because we have two dads on it. Come on, it's like the
Yeah, that's
dog
true.
scratches at the door to get in, and now she's scratching at the door to get out. It's like make up your mind. Um,
Unbelievable.
no, your question is interesting. It makes me reflect a little bit, and probably not the most positive light. But do I do things that are uncomfortable in front of my kids, aside from what I normally do, which is
Hmm.
uncomfortable?
Yeah,
Like, I think their perspective is that I love CrossFit workouts so much that I'm enjoying myself when I'm doing them. But it's like they see me rolling on the floor dying. Like it's not,
yeah,
you can't tell me I've just grown to like that feeling.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't. Like
Nobody
fear
does.
workouts. Yeah, fear
Yeah.
workouts like that. Um but yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of ways I think that they could see it that way, but it's interesting because they're at an age now where they could choose their perspective. So they
Hmm.
could choose to say, "Oh, well, he does that all the time. That's just him," or they
Yeah.
can choose to see it the other way, which is he's doing something hard, and I should take after that.
You
I'll
can
get into
verbalize
some.
it.
I get
Oh,
into
sorry.
some pretty good conversations with the oldest. Like he'll
Hmm.
talk about stuff like that, or
Oh, really?
he'll he'll talk about observing other kids his age doing stuff like that too, which is interesting.
Like just
But it,
difficult things or new things?
yeah, or just yeah, I'm trying to remember. The last one was talking about one of the kids on his team who's really talented.
Hmm.
Um, I don't quite remember all the details, but basically he was just observing like his foot speed, like all these other things like that. he thought he was really good. And I was like, yeah, those are all just like things that he probably just worked at. Yeah, he's like, yeah, he probably like did it without a ball. And then it's like, yeah, so why don't you do that?
Yeah, you know the equation or the
Yeah,
equation, right?
yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
well,
it's interesting.
for a first test run, we're gonna end the stream and then see what it takes to bring everything over.